PS Roads, Engineer Joseph Mbugwa. Let me also acknowledge the PSs who have not been able to attend because I think they'll basically take advantage of this Kenya Roads Manual we're launching today. The Chief Executive Officer, Africa Development Bank, who has also not been able to attend. The head of cooperation of the European Union delegation to the Republic of Kenya, who has also not been able to attend. And the Chief Executive of World Bank Group Kenya Country Office, who has also not been able to attend, just to mention and really acknowledge the support that they have given us. But more importantly, the representatives of the Council of Governors, county governments, professional association, transport associations, manufacturers association present here today, engineering colleges, policy formulation state departments and agencies, professional regulatory agencies, and national road agencies, of course, all the professional technical teams present here today led by the DGs. I've just seen DG, KRB, the DGs present, Kunu, Silas Kinoti and Kandie, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Let me say it gives me great pleasure to be really present here today as the engineering fraternity come together to launch this handbook that will guide us in doing the business that we ought to do and do well for this country. And therefore, it really gives me great pleasure to stand before you today as we make a significant milestone in Kenya's infrastructure journey, particularly the road subsector. I wish to profoundly thank you and the teams that have been recognized for getting time to attend this momentous occasion so that we can together celebrate the launch of these new manuals. The new manual and specifications have been developed by the ministry pursuant to the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which assigns the national government the function and powers of setting standards for the construction and maintenance of all public roads, including those under the county government. The first generation of road design manuals have been in use for more than 35 years. These manuals, though they served us well, needed to evolve to address emerging challenges such as impact of climate change, need for enhanced road safety, growing demand for non-motorized transport, facilities and rapid advancements in construction technologies and materials. The second generation and the road manuals we are launching today incorporates international best practices and reflects Kenya's diverse geographical conditions and urban landscapes, climate adaptation and technological advancement to enable provision of road infrastructure that is safe, secure and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, under the Kenya Vision 2030 long-term plan, infrastructure expansion and modernization are among the foundation for realization of the economic, social and political transformation of Kenya into a rapidly industrializing middle-income country. The plan envisages an integrated, safe and efficient transport and communication infrastructure network consisting of road, railways, ports, airports, waterways and telecommunication infrastructure. The first 5 years are midterm plans under the Vision 2030 from 2008 to 2022 targeted construction of 1,950 kilometers, then 5,500 kilometers and 10,000 kilometers of new paved roads under MTP 1, 2, 3 respectively, totaling to 17,450 kilometers, 17,450 kilometers. This was a massive infrastructure development program intended to double the paved roads network in 10 years compared to 8,600 kilometers developed from independence in 1963 to the year 2008. The implementation of midterm 3 came to an end on 30th June 2023, ushering the implementation of the fourth-term plan, which is aligned with the aspiration of Kenya's 2030 vision and the Kenya Kwanza government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is geared towards economic turnaround through value chain approach. BITA has targeted sectors with the highest impact to drive economic recovery and growth. This will be achieved through bringing down the cost of living, eradicating hunger, provision of decent and affordable housing, creating jobs, expanding the tax base, improving foreign exchange balances, and inclusive growth. BITA ensures rational resource allocation by eliminating wastage of resources occasioned by duplication, overlaps, fragmentation, and ineffective coordination in the implementation of programs and projects. Ladies and gentlemen, roads are more than just paved services. They are lifelines that connect people to opportunities, linking farmers to markets, students to schools, patients to hospitals, and goods to global trade routes. A well-designed road is not just an engineering marvel and transport facility. It's a channel for equity, efficiency, and aspiration. With these updated manuals, we are equipping engineers and professionals with tools to deliver roads that are safe for children and pedestrians, friendly to cyclists, resilient to extreme weather, and cost-effective to build and maintain. This, therefore, is a transformative step forward for every Kenyan, whether urban and rural, motorized and non-motorized, able-bodied and vulnerable. Ladies and gentlemen, today we turn a new chapter. The updated manuals and specifications represent years of research, technical collaboration and consultations, stakeholders engagement, and support from development partners. This achievement would not have been possible without the dedicated efforts of many institutions and individuals, and I therefore wish to express very deep appreciations to the Africa Development Bank and the European Union for their continued financial and technical support. The review process initiated in the year 2009 has been mentioned by the PS, has been implemented under the AFD-funded Isabania-Kisia Ahero Road Rehabilitation Project, which included this component, and equally the JICA, or Japan International Cooperation Agency, for facilitating the ongoing development of the breach inspection and repair manual under the Breach Management System Initiative. Equally, the World Bank for its continued contribution to infrastructure development and institutional capacity building, including the establishment of the road authorities. I also wish to thank the National Steering Committee, the National Task Force Chief Engineers and Materials, who are the two dedicated technical administrators, the Kenya National Highways Authority for effective procurement and project coordination, and the Transport Research Laboratory UK for their expert service. Let me finally also thank the many stakeholders, the county government representatives, professional bodies, academic institutions, and practitioners who offered invaluable insights during the workshop and consultations. Ladies and gentlemen, as we launch this manual today, I urge every stakeholder, engineers, planners, contractors, instructors, and regulators to embrace, adopt, and apply them. Let us not allow them to just sit in our shelves. Let us teach them in our colleges, integrate them in our designs, and enforce them in our field work, whether on national highway or a county road. I just want to really acknowledge what I've heard, that the time the manuals have taken to develop will be really not doing justice if we don't take these manuals out there, train ourselves, train the users, and I'm happy to really note the implementation programs that basically seeks to institutionalize these manuals by getting a program out there to train us and train everybody to be able to appreciate why it's important to really employ these manuals and then basically appreciate the standards in the way we build our roads, keeping them cost effective, ensuring value for money. If you over-design a road, it becomes too expensive. If you under-design and use wrong materials, even the budgets, given the budgets that are there, we could afford to build one beautiful looking road like I was just thinking about as you guys talked through these manuals, the learnings that have gone through the time which has taken us to develop these manuals in MTP1, MTP2, and MTP3, where we developed the low volume seal roads. And I think this has given us opportunities to test and really put into practice some of the things that are going to these manuals in terms of how do we really manage costs as we build some of the cost-effective designed roads that would still address the challenges and mitigate the environmental challenges, including the weights that as we open a new road, we tend to get new traffic coming in, which were not designed for those roads, and therefore run the kind of challenges that we've run with our low volume seal roads. And I want to believe a lot of that has gone into the designs, including management of the roads, so that as soon as we build, we do not allow the paved roads to be subjected to the conditions or the weights that were not designed for. So I really think that even though we've taken time to develop this manual, there have been lessons learned over the period when we've developed and doubled the paved roads in Kenya, and therefore we should be able to see how best to employ these manuals today. And therefore, as you go out there to train the rest of the Kenyans to employ these manuals, I really want to congratulate you for the for the job well done. I'm aware also that the manuals review and updating process is not fully concluded, like has also been mentioned, and there are some pending manuals which I want to confirm that whatever is pending, Bwana PS, let's give support so that we complete that work properly. I don't think the funding requirement that engineer was struggling to mention why they have not finished should be a challenge. Let's complete that work properly. Let me also say that really we recognize and acknowledge the work being done in developing the kind of infrastructure in the kilometers that have been talked about, the kind of asset investment in this asset in roads network that has gone into building the infrastructure and opening the country today, so that when you fly over some of the areas of Kenya, the road network has really transformed the way we move people and goods to markets and people-to-people interaction in building the various dual carriageways or even the now expressway and the various expressways that are designed to be built as we work to develop Rironi Mau Summit. I think there's a team currently on some retreat looking at the initial submitted concession documents for those concessionaires who wish to build Rironi Mau Summit. We know we are working on the Nairobi, Mombasa, Dualing through Ushahihi and so on and so forth. But I really want to acknowledge the work, the great work you, the engineers, are doing, even as we as late as Thursday, faced a challenge where sections of RMLF Rashid have been declared unconstitutional, and we need to work quickly together. This is partly why we came a bit late. We were just trying to address ourselves to that Section 6 of RMLF Act, which has been declared unconstitutional, and that is the section which talks to sharing about 50% of the resources which goes into maintaining and building some of our roads today. You know, RMLF does contribute about, 80 billion Kenya shillings annually that goes into maintaining our road networks. And to the extent that section is being declared unconstitutional, we are consulting very quickly, very widely, to see how to unlock that challenge and align RMLF in line with Schedule 4 of the Constitution to ensure that we do not lag behind in releasing the funds that we collect almost on a weekly basis through the RMLF or the petroleum levy that then allows us to maintain our roads. So we'll be working very quickly to resolve that challenge, get a legal interpretation of that ruling that we got on Thursday, and how quickly we can reconstitute Section 6 to allow us to be able to share that piece of revenue from RMLF and allow you guys to maintain our roads in that sharing formula that has been declared must include county governments as spoken for by the Constitution. But we'll be seeking counsel or lawyers' interpretation to be able to quickly resolve that and make sure that the revenues we receive on weekly basis, as every ship docks in Mombasa with 80 million KT of petroleum products, that revenue is available to you to use. So how quickly Bwana PS and the DGs in the House, particularly Rashid, we need to resolve that challenge quickly, reconstitute Section 6 of RMLF, and ensure that we are able to disperse that money to maintain our roads. At a time like now when we've come out of a rainy period, we need to be able to support our roads financially to ensure that we do not get the foundations of our road totally destroyed because of lack of maintenance. I think the ardent saying that a stitch in time saves 9 is equally very important to the road sector, that if we allow our substructures to be destroyed, then it becomes really expensive to maintain those roads. So let me again congratulate those of us who spent the last 15 years to develop these manuals, the lessons that we've learned and included in the manuals as we work together to finalize, to be able to launch these manuals today. It's now my distinct honor and privilege to officially launch the updated road design manual and standard specifications for the Republic of Kenya. And I really, really thank those of us who have worked on these manuals. And I want to confirm to you that as Minister for Roads and Transport, I'll endeavor to ensure that we do not only employ these manuals in the road sector, but across the board for the other thematic areas in housing and in all the other sectors that build infrastructure. I was just thinking loud that, you know, when we build a road and it collapses, it's not much news, because when it collapses, you just get a pothole or a sunken space. When we build a house and it collapses, it is big news. So I think it's important that we really employ and take cognizance of roads which collapse, because we really have not employed the kind of standards that we see in these manuals today. Even though it doesn't make much news when a road collapses as compared to when a house collapses, we've seen many sections of our roads really losing the fundamental substructures and collapsing and being a weak point in destroying or the destruction of the entire section of the road. So again, congratulations and well done for really giving us these updated road design manuals today. And I want to confirm that as you go out there to train the users, to train us on those 3 dates, we'll give you the necessary support and ensure that we employ standards and specifications as articulated in these manuals. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Chief Guest. I request you to stay back on the stage for a short while.